Shakedown.
Shakedown. Shakedown.
Street.
Vegas.
Vegas.
Dead Company.
Fear shows.
It's like a giant thing. When I tour, I mostly just tour with Dead Company. I used to tour with Grateful Dead from like 85 to 91, and then moved on, got a job. The thing that attracted me to the Grateful Dead wasn't the music. The first thing I saw was that it was like a makeshift economy. You could get anything you needed, and you could do anything you wanted, and bands played in the parking lot. I'm attracted to that. The vendors organized this whole Shakedown Vegas thing, which I'm 100% impressed by, because 4 people organized it all, and I know them all, and they did a great job.
I started in 1984 at Blossom Music Center in Cleveland, Ohio, and did it till 95. After Jerry died, I got a job and did that for 20 years. And then when Dead & Company came out, obviously, we get this again. So it's awesome. To see this the last 8 years, I never thought it would happen again. In 95, I thought I was done. Are you kidding me? To get this again, we are all so lucky. The youngsters that come around are just incredible. You know, they're back. They're 20, 18, 22, into this game again, and to get that and keep this ball rolling, let's go. I'm in. Vegas is a tough city to work. Vegas, we knew that there was going to be nothing on the streets, that's for sure. So we put this together just to kind of see what happens. This is totally different for all of us. We've never been in the same place for 24 shows, so this is new to all of us, and to see what's happening right now is absolutely phenomenal.
You get people on social media who are like, this is an organic shakedown. Shakedown's supposed to happen organically. And we're like, yes, we know that. But in Vegas, it's this or nothing.
It's a lot more work. Because of the city and the permits, etc., we didn't know how this process was going to go. I knew about this place from trade shows because we come here for our clothing trade shows, and we stayed here and we know about this place, and I said, okay, I'm calling the Tuscany. Bam, we called, and then it just got started. Myself, her, Rob down there, and Molly 2 doors down, and the 4 of us hammered this out. There's no coolers and beer, and there's no nitrous tanks, so we'll see if people like that more or not.
I tried to stay away from Vegas. I did. It was so funny how I ended up here. You know, I run a hockey rink in Minneapolis, city of New Hope Ice Arena. 2 friends of mine, boys, play hockey at UNLV over here. They finished school Saturday. Their dad started calling me in March. You got to come to the condo. You got to come to the condo. I'm like, I'm not going to Vegas. He's like, no, man. And like, then the boys are like, Scotty, it's right across the street.
I think when thousands of people gather together for one singular event, I think it's like coming home to a family, get to meet new people, create community. I told her I was bringing her to meet the family.
I am brother-in-law to Stephen McMenemy, who's the brainchild behind the whole company. Fred was his dog. He's passed, but he lives on in Stephen's work, his creation. Stephen was like, hey, you want to go on tour with the Grateful Dead? I was like, hell yeah, let's go. It takes a little work to get over here. Only people who really want to be part of Shakedown are going to come over here. They're not just stumbling through it on the way into the concert.
The first one I ever had on my table, and the one that sits in the middle is that one right there, because that's the reason I'm here. So that will always be in the middle of the table, and it will never be taken off my table. I didn't give Bobby enough appreciation back in the day. I was a Jerry guy, and I'm always will be a Jerry guy, but totally appreciate what Bobby has done for us in the last 15 years, because it's him. He put it together. He knew John Mayer was the man, and he is.
Here Comes Sunshine was drawn by a very dear friend of mine, Darren Lavoie, and his father was our art teacher growing up in Rochester, Minnesota. One thing led to another. Darren was a very gifted artist, as you can see, and this was all done, and we've been friends and selling these together for years and years. That's how it all started back in the day. These are all handmade. The Jerry's I print all myself. Those I print myself. The 2 color prints I do myself. I just take a lot of pride and fun because I know people appreciate them, and have a good time doing it.
I took my dad for Father's Day, and it was kind of to honor my brother who had just passed, who was a really big Deadhead. It was just not something I was ever really into until my brother passed away, and the music kind of connected me to him in a way that I needed. My dad's Dire Wolf, that's his favorite song. My brother is Help on the Way. I actually have the lyrics, crippled but free, I was blind all the time, I was learning to see, tattooed on my forearm.
What I do is I try to promote psychedelic art, basically. That's what I'm into. I just want to make really high quality, beautiful stuff. They asked me to make some of the promo artwork and some artwork for this Shakedown Vegas. And so I thought the sphere, that's like a giant thing, and the pyramids are giant things, and they're both in the desert. So I went with that as a theme. Plus, that was the only idea I had.
I took too much acid at a Shoreline show. You never re-up at set break. So I re-upped at set break. We all got too high. We finally get out. We stay up all night. And we look at a map and we decide we're going to go around the world. And that was it.
It was a map on a shower curtain. It was a map on a shower curtain. They were on the floor in the bathroom. And the shower curtain was going like this, and it was a map.
After the Sphere shows, well, who knows? You know, we thought last year would be the last year, so no telling. But we're coming out with, we're working with other bands, so we are doing other things. But we hope this will continue somehow. I feel like in some way it will.
I'm hoping to maybe pop up with Widespread Panic this summer when they're touring, and then Fish Fest. I know that they're going to be traveling, so I'm going to be up on the East Coast doing some shows in New York over the summer, and kind of just following the music when I can.
Now that Dead & Company may not tour, I'll probably be trying to go to Billy Strings or maybe Dark Star or some other bands and stuff, but probably mostly concentrating on festivals.
I will do some stuff in Minneapolis, like in August for the days in between at my brother's bar. They'll have a week long of stuff. Well, it's the 60th anniversary next summer. We'll see what's out there.